Okay, I think we left off where we were putting the cup on. So I've got my 2.5 inch by 8 inch piece of white cardstock. I scored it in half at 4 inches, and I put score tape on each end. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to add the magnets because it's going to be the next part after the cup. It kind of goes in the same way. I'm going to show you the hardest part first, and then you can decide which you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to take one of the sides of the tape off. Okay, and I'm bringing my cuff around, and I'm just going to wrap it around. And in my world, a cuff is kind of open. Like, so I'm thinking a cuff, you know what I mean? So I'm just kind of putting it around it and loosely. Because again, I think a cuff is kind of loose. Let me see. There's glasses. Okay, so I'm kind of putting it around the edge right here. I'm taping it to one side, this front side. Okay, like that. So it's taped down. And on the back side, I'm going to pull the tape. You know what? I forgot to get my magnet. I got a good magnet set out real quick. And you know, I'm having the worst time with these magnets because they don't match. Some of them don't match. And so I'm going to grab my scissors and get it out. Should have it done beforehand. There we go. Chop off a positive. Let's see if this negative matches. It doesn't in a weird way here. It's just weird. Some are just not marked correctly. Do these match? No. So I've got a fresh set here. Chop off a negative. Do they match? They do. Good. Okay, so there's my magnets. But that's been kind of a little frustrating there because the stickers are not correct. Okay, and this is what I was talking about. This packaging any day, anymore for me is like, I think the older I get, the harder it is to get into packaging. I don't know. So I'm going to pull that one out. And positive. Kind of wish I'd had this done for you, but didn't. And I did all my other ones, but didn't think about this one. All right, so I'm going to get this off the table and thrown away, and these away. All right. Alrighty, so I'm going to take my positive and my negative. And again, let me back up a little bit. If you're going to do it the harder way, which is more finished, and it's nice, you know, it's finished and nice. Let me see if I can get that away. You would want to do this before you put this paper down, but this adhesive is pretty forgiving if I don't burnish it. You know, you can pretty much pull it up and do what you need to do with it. And then when you burnish it down, it'll stay forever. But I'm going to come in about ½ inch up from the bottom, and 1 3/4 inches over from this pocket where the pocket opening is. And I'm going to take my magnet. I'm going to put it down ½ inch, 1 3/4, and put it right in there ish. Okay, kind of like that. Okay, put my paper back down. And then I'm going to take my other magnet and take the paper backing off of it to expose the sticky side. And I'm going to bring this around. I'm going to put it down where it wants to stick, right there. It wants to stick right in there-ish. Okay, I'm going to straighten up my paper a little bit. And then I'm going to push it all together. Okay, so it hides those magnets. Okay, here's another way. I'm going to show you is simply put them together, stick them together, magnetic sides together, pull up the tape backing, stick it down on one side, push this down like that, open it back up, and then they'll both be stuck to each other, be stuck to the correct sides. It's exposed. It just depends on what level of finish you want on your project. Okay, so either way works. Again, if you're doing it this way, you might do it before you slap this paper on it. Okay? All right. So now that those are done, let me show you how to put on the buttons. I would, again, use store-bought buttons. 3 or 4. I think 4 means more formal. 3 doesn't. I can't remember how that worked. But basically, I'm going to I cut these out earlier. I'm going to take my buttons, and the main thing you want to do, I'm almost out of glue, is put 3 or 4 kind of lined up, and line up your holes so they're all matching. I'm putting one maybe right in there. Okay, and another one right here next to it. I'm making making sure my holes match ish. And they're about the same level. If you're a measurer, this is the time to measure. Okay, and then one last button. Just putting some little dobs of glue on it. Just visually see if I can put it there. Okay, now I'm going to put one more on the cuff. French cuff, you could put it in the middle, you could put it over to the side, it doesn't matter. You could do pretty things with the cuff link to make it look fun. Let me show you some of the ideas I had. Like here, I painted the buttons gold or bronze, and then I put a cream crochet thread through because it was thicker, and I didn't want to sit there and do it a million times, but I did with the needle and the crochet thread and just wrapped them through just like you would on a regular button and tied it off in the back, and then I glued them on. Okay, and then like here's something I was trying to do something a little bit more formal, like a cuff link. Okay, so I put a half-back pearl on that one button. Same thing here. Got some little white buttons. I used red crochet thread there. And then half-back pearls again, and then I had a little rhinestone for a cuff link on that one, just to dude it up a little bit. So you can go crazy. You can use old buttons. Wouldn't that be fun? Things that you found in an antique store or vintage store and that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's the buttons. I'm going to put this last one on here, and I'm going to show you how to do the pages, how to put the pages in the book. So for there, and I'm going to do this one kind of centered. Okay, so there's that. Alrighty, so back to the pages. All right. Okay, actually we have to start with the book. So I'm going to take my book, I'm going to bring my book back over. Okay, and I already pre-cut my papers, but let me tell you what you need. You need 2 that are 4 1/4 by 9. Okay, so 2 that are 4 1/4 by 9 for each. This is for the inside book. Okay, and then 1 spine piece that's 2 by 4 1/4 right there. Okay, so let me go ahead and glue those in real quick. I'm going to bring my Xyron over. Put these in real quick. And my spine piece. All right. I go around them with my Teflon pokey tool. Get those edges away from the glue. Do that real quick. And then this one. Alright, and then I'm going to start with my covers. So again, this is the interior of the book. Bring this back over like that. Take one of these off. And see if I can line it up. Put it on here real quick. Long. Okay. We are expecting severe storms, so I'm trying to get this done because our electricity goes off like there's no tomorrow. I live rural and out in the country, And our electricity goes off every time there's a storm. It goes off anyway, all the time. It's crazy. We've gone through 2 refrigerators because of the sensor on the refrigerator. And they can't, it's more expensive to replace the sensor than it is anything. So that's the inside cover. Okay, I'm going to burnish the center down well because everything is going to hang off that one center part. Okay, so I want to make sure that that's really good and adhered, and I'm going to go over that. Make sure that's good. Excuse me. Okay, so the inside of the book is done. So now I can add the pages. So it's basically however you want to. I'm not going to finish the buttons. I'll do those later. I did it on this original, but I just want to show you how to put this book together. Okay, so I'm going to grab just basically any page. Okay, and I'm going to pull the tape back in, which I've already done on this one. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to see if I can see on my computer. Hold on, it just went down. So I can see what y'all are seeing. Okay, so I want to see, I'm going to stand up and I'll show you this a little bit better. But I'm taking this edge here, okay? It's a flapped over 1/4 inch edge, okay? And I want to adhere it to right where this paper ends on this right side, okay? And I want to center it. There should be an 1/8 inch up above, top and bottom. So I'm sticking it down, kind of lining it up, making sure it's where it needs to go. And then I like to say I'm making a commitment. So I'm going to adhere that down. Okay? Flaps over. Next page. Pull the tape backing. And what I'm going to do, oops, I'm going to push this right up next to the end of this one. So the paper stops, the little hinge stops right here. Let's see if I can show you. See where it stops right there? Okay. I'm going to push this right up next to it until it hits that last hinge. And again, I'm trying to visually center it at the same time. Okay? And then again, making a commitment and taping it in. Okay? Okay, another one. Visually centering and then pushing it up against that last hinge. Okay? Making a commitment and taping it down. Keep on going. One more. So what these 1/4 inch flaps do is they give you enough room between the pages to add the buttons and to add embellishments if you'd like. And then it ends up being having, if you start from you're working from the back to the front, and when you do that, it will give you a little bit, give you a 1/4 inch in the front, a little bit more than a 1/4 inch in the front, to so that your front page has room for its buttons. See that room in there? So it kind of looks like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. So you can kind of see that same thing here. See where the buttons, has room for the buttons to go when you use those 1/4 inch flaps. Okay, so that's that. All right, for the outside, this is where we get a little bit more into detail. Okay, so I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to get a piece of white cardstock. Okay, which I happen to cut already. And I'm cutting it to 4 1/4 by 9. Okay, I'm going to use this for my jacket because I think it's cool. Love this paper. Again, 4 1/4 by 9. Okay, and I'm going to get a piece of black cardstock that's 4 1/4 by 9. Okay. So I've got these 3 pieces. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my black paper, which does not like this camera. The camera doesn't like the black paper at all. I'm going to run it through my Xyron. Of course, you use whatever you want to use. You can use tape, stick glue, maybe not stick glue, but tape, glue, adhesive, anything you got, and glue the back side of it. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to adhere it to the back side of our paisley jacket paper. Which could be fun. Lining it up. Try to line it up best you can because it's kind of a one-trick pony. Okay, like that. Over on that side, I think we're okay. All right, then I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut it in half. So again, this is 9 inches, so 4.5 inches is half. So I'm cutting that at 4.5 inches, okay? All right. And then this is where it gets kind of weird. I could try to measure it for you. This is what I did. I used my scoreboard. I put one corner into the 2, and this one's about 3 7/8, okay? And I'm coming down at 4 inches at this angle. Okay, and then let's see if I can show you a different way to do it so it might be easier for you. Okay, so on this side I want to do the exact same thing but the opposite way. So let's see, if I was at, you want to go over, it's like 2 1/8, and then end up at the corners. Let's see, how can I do that? Okay, I need to go this way. Oh wait, let me mark it with something. Let me just say, okay, here's 2 1/8. Just gonna see if I can score it, and then I want to go down straight to this corner, the same corner. So like that. So you just want to aim it. So I'm looking at this bead here is where I want it to go into one of the tracks, okay? And I'm coming down like that, okay? So I measured over 2 1/8, and I'm just putting it at an angle where this is straight, okay? That's going to this corner. So I was looking for a 2 1/8, looking for a channel or one of these channels to put it into, and then coming straight down from corner to corner. And if it doesn't, this doesn't quite meet at the corner, I've got about an 1/8 inch straight part, perfectly good. Okay, so I'm going to take these now and I'm going to fold them back like that, and I'm going to give them a good burnish with my bone folder. I'll grab my pen. One of these is bound to have some ink left in it. Okay, I'm just going to go over these edges just to finish it up a little bit. Okay, now I'll try to work from this side. Let's get glue on it. I'm not going to take too well to it. Just a little right there. Okay. Oh, I'm off camera on him. Because I can't see anymore. I have to bring everything up to my face. Even my papers are getting so bad. Not fun, getting old. Always heard that, it's true. Okay, so I'm going to put just a dash right here. Just a tip right there. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to put some of this stuff. You know, it just makes it crazy. Got to do it. This goes here. Okay, so I'm going to take this away. And I've got my 2 lapels kind of made, right? Okay, what you can go ahead and do, gosh, the wind is really blowing, is take a little tape or glue. I'm just cutting about a ½ inch. I'm going to stick it behind this front lapel because I want it to lay down. Okay, just right up here. Do that same thing for the other side. Okay. Pull the tape backing. I want it to look like the lapel is kind of coming up off. So can you kind of see there's a little bit of a dimension to it. Okay, so there's my jacket. Okay, now I want to take these and I want to tape them on the back. Or you can glue them, whatever you like. So wish I could have my little craft knife out and have my rubber mat under, or my self-healing mat, but I don't have it. I'm just going to use scissors, they work. So I'm going to go around these like that. Maybe a couple in the center, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. I'm sorry, you'll have to sit here and watch me do this, but I'll just rip it. That way we can go faster. Okay. Do the same thing over here. Oh, I'm off camera. Gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, this way. This tape works. And then a couple more strips down the center. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pull the tape backing off of one of the pieces. Okay, I'm going to bring my white piece over. I'm going to start and line it up perfectly with this white edge, as good as you can. Okay, like that. Tape it down. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. I don't know if you're like me, but I do not like sticky things stuck to me. It's like honey or something in a jar. Honey or jelly. It just makes me crazy. Okay, so there is our front jacket. Okay, then we're going to start on our oh, I can't remember the name of that either. I'm so bad with things like that. The tips to the collar. I think it's 1.5. So I'm going to cut a 1.5 inch square. Okay, and then I'm going to take it, I'm going to angle it from corner to corner, or cut it from corner to corner, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take it again and just use this one triangle, and let's think, what did I do? Down the center. Let's think, oh, I did it this way. I pushed it up that way. So flat, kind of center it where your blade's going to go, and cut it that way. Okay, so you're making 2 little triangles. Okay, so it was 1.5 by 1.5. You made a square. Let's do it again. So it was 1.5. Oops. By 1.5. Okay, but I went and made it into a diamond and put it where the track is, where my blade's going to go, and turned it into a triangle. Okay, I'm going to take that triangle, I'm going to flip it flat because it's easier, and push it up against my guards and to where my blade's going to cut it, and cut it in half. Okay, so I've got 2 little triangles. Okay, done. Now, impossible or not, bring over your scoreboard. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these up in the corner, and I'm going to score 1/4 of an inch with my big hands. This is tough. I can't see it actually. There we go. 1/4 inch on this long side. Actually, that one's so bad. I'm going to use one of these for another one. Sorry. Okay, so line it up in the corner. Do 1/4 inch mark. With a small stylus. Okay, so it ends up like that. Hands are dirty. And do the same thing for a second one. Over in the corner, 1/4 inch. Do that. So now I've got 2 of the tips, the short tips. Okay, and then I'm going to grab some 1/8 inch score tape, or you can use glue or whatever you got. And then I'm going to tape the back side. On the short, where you've scored it, that 1/4 inch side. I'll show you in a sec. So I put tape on this 1/4 inch side. You see the score mark here? And then I taped it on this 1/4 inch side. And do the same thing for the other side. Okay, this is where your ruler comes in. If you have a centering ruler, it's just wonderful. Again, this is Tim's ruler, and I'm centering, and it looks like I'm going to have around 4.5 on each side. Okay, so I know that must be there. I'm going to take my collars and bend them up like that. Okay, I'm going to do that for both. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my pick. Here it is. And what I want to try to do is pull the tape back in. And I'll go about 1 inch out on each side. So this is centered. This is centered in the center, and I've got 4.5 on each side ish. Okay, I'm gonna go off to 1. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go 1 inch over, and it has a 1 inch mark on each side. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right up at 1 inch and at the same angle that the paper is. Okay, see how it's flush there? Let's show you how it's flush. So this edge is flush, this angle is flush with the top of the paper. Okay, so I'm going to do that again on the other side, but flipping it. Okay, I'm going to get this together again at 4.5. 4.5 on this side, and so I know it's centered. And now, this is where it's so fiddly. I've already got my paper dirty. Go up to that 1 inch mark. Okay, right there. So those are my shirt tips, my tuxedo shirt tips. Okay, then I'm going to grab my bow ties, and I just found these. I found the template online and traced it out. Okay, and so for one of the bow ties, I'm just going to take some tape. And these are about, let's see, almost 3 inches by the big bow part's about 1.5. Okay, so 3 inches by 1.5. And if I'm smart, maybe I'll try to figure out where I found this and put a link down below. Okay, so I'm going to take this one. I'm going to pull the tape backing. I just taped it in the center there. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to see if I can eyeball this where it's kind of centered on both sides. Put it right underneath the shirt, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one, and if y'all have one of these flower kits, because I use this quite a bit, any kind of or your ball stylus and some foam works just as good as anything. So I've got, this one is a Susan's Garden, Susan Turney Cockburn Sizzix toolkit, but anything will do if you've got a ball stylus. Okay, I'm taking my tie, I'm putting the good side down, the side that matches, and I'm going to go up and I'm going around the edges. But I'm not going to touch that center part. Like that. Just so they're beveled up a little bit. Alright? Computer's off. Hold on. Housekeeping here. Okay, so I'm done with that. So again, I'm going to take some tape. I'm going to put it in the center, like that. And I'm going to cut off this edge. Okay, get out of the way. Pull off this tape backing. Okay, I'm going to line it up to my bow tie that's already there. Stick it down in the center. Here down. And if you see these little flaps, more fun. Okay? So that's my bow tie. It gives it some dimension. Can you see that? See how it's kind of beveled off? It looks like more of a bow tie. It's got these secondary piece below it to kind of give it more dimension. Okay? And then I'm going to take buttons. Some little black buttons. I'm going to have 2 of them. Let me see if I can find another little one. And I'm going to put some glue behind those. And just out. And it's sad because I got like 65,000 of these bottles in my back room. And why I didn't grab one, I don't know. So I apologize. So I'm going to take this and I'm lining it up just centered somewhere. Making sure my buttonholes are going the right way. Same thing here. Make sure that's about right. Coming down about a 1/2 inch. Glue my other button. Like that. Okay. And then the last thing is the carnation. And again, I punched some flowers out. And I'm going to grab my pad back over. And one's going to be flat. So I've got about 3 different sizes. Any kind of a flower punch would work. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to round these off. Probably I need another smaller stylus. Again, you don't have to have a whole kit of these. But it's nice to have something that's kind of round. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to just use the one that comes with my scoreboard. Round these off. Kind of punch it down in the middle a little bit. Give it some more dimension. Like that. Okay. Doing that for all of them. Dragging in. curls up the outside. Okay, there's that little one. Now for the smallest. Okay, and I'm going to use some glue. And glue these together. I'm just putting a touch of glue on the bottom side where I've these notorious for getting stuck, but maybe I have glue. Take this, dab of glue right there, dab of glue right in the center. Take my stylus and kind of get them where I want them to go. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one flat. So I can offset those petals like that. Okay, so I'm gonna call that a carnation. It's got dimension, and this lighting is horrible. There we go. Okay, and then I'm put a little glue on that back, like that. I'm gonna put it right here on his lapel. I'll wait till it actually all glues together and I'll fluff those up a bit. Okay, so there's the carnation. Okay, now if you want to, you could add a little like kerchief coming up out of his pocket if you want to. So just with your extra paper, just chop that out and just glue it down. You know what I mean? Whereas or like that, even it's kind of cute. You know, where it looks like there's a little handkerchief coming up out of his pocket. Okay, so we're going to set that aside, and then we're going to go back. I'm going to use some contrasting paper like this, and what I'm going to do is I want about a 1-inch flap. I think that's what I did on this. Let me make sure. And I'm just going to do it the easy way. So I'm just kind of cut 2 inches and then put a centerpiece in. So I'm going to cut this to 2 inches. Okay. I'm going to grab my scoreboard. And I'm going to take my stylus and score a 1/2 inch on each side. So I'm going to have like a 1-inch strap in the middle. Okay. And then I'm going to go, I'm not having these overlap. I'm kind of like wanting to have the black in the background. So, but I am going to take my tape and I'm laying it down on each side of the score line. Okay, I'm going to fold these in. And I'm going to pull the tape off and adhere it to itself. And then to thicken this up, I'm going to add a strip of black to the center. Maybe 3, probably about 7/8 maybe. And back it with that, because I think that looks kind of cool. So we're using black with a lot of this album. So I'm going to take this. You don't need this whole strip. I mean, you shouldn't have to waste all of your paper, and I will let you know in just a second how long this strip needs to be. I don't recall actually how long it needs to be, so I'll need to look and measure. Okay. So I'm just going to line the back. I'm just going to center this on here. It's going to do two things for me. It's going to make it a little bit thicker, and it feels better to me. It just feels like it's right. I'm going to round off the corners, and then I'm going to round off the tips, 1/4 inch each side, like that. And then I'm going to ink them. Or if you're going, I'm going to pin them, but if you want to ink them, just kind of finishes it off. Makes it look a little bit nicer. Okay. Okay, so let me measure this flat for us. I am going to find my ruler. Put that paper away. Okay, so we basically want at least 2 inches in the front-ish. No, looks like 1.75. 2 inches in the front, 2 inches down the side, and let's say 1.5 inches on the back. So that's what? 4, 2, 4,